Welcome to your strategic briefing for Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. Today we analyze the shifting tides of global finance and opinion. The Wall Street Journal leads with a world in transition, from multi-billion-dollar media takeovers to the harsh realities of global conflict. Paramount has received signed equity commitments of close to $24,000 million from sovereign wealth funds led by Saudi Arabia. This capital injection is aimed at backing the takeover of Warner Bros. Discovery, as Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 slams into a harsh reality. JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon warned in his annual letter that the war in Iran could push up inflation and further depress financial markets. Dimon's serious tone highlights concerns that if interest rates rise, asset prices will drop, affecting the global economic recovery. Despite these warnings, major US stock indexes rallied, with the S&P 500 and Dow both rising 0.4%. The Nasdaq gained 0.5% as investors took heart from the latest jobs report, showing resilience in the American workforce. In the AI sector, Anthropic plans to invest $200 million in a new venture with major private equity firms. The goal is to sell AI tools to their portfolio companies, accelerating the transformation of corporate productivity across the country. Simultaneously, OpenAI has released policy proposals for a world with artificial superintelligence as Congress prepares to debate new legislation. A Goldman Sachs report warns that AI-displaced workers face severe economic pain, drawing parallels to past technological waves. The Treasury Department has designated BNY and Robinhood to manage the initial accounts for Trump Accounts, a new savings tool for children. This massive effort involves shooting millions of products from every angle to ensure AI models have perfect input for future shopping. Amazon and the US Postal Service have reached a new package handling agreement, subject to federal approval. The deal involves a 20% reduction in volume, a pivot from earlier proposals that threatened to cut 2/3 of deliveries. We now move to the opinion section, where the journal's columnists tackle the most pressing geopolitical and social issues of our time. Prices for the same medical products and services, from surgeries to drugs, are far higher in the US than in peer nations. Prescription drugs cost significantly more, as most other nations force drug makers to accept lower rates while the US generally does not. Medicare insurers are set to receive a 2.48% payment bump next year, a dramatic increase for the industry. In medical M&A, Neurocrine agreed to buy Soleno for $2,900 million. Gaining a treatment for Prader-Willi syndrome. Pesticide giant Syngenta is launching a new herbicide capability named Virestina to fight grass weeds in soybean crops. Syngenta spends $2,000 million annually on research and development to stay ahead of evolving weed resistance. The Treasury Department has designated BNY and Robinhood to manage the initial accounts for Trump Accounts, a new savings tool for children. In space, NASA's Artemis II astronauts steered their Orion craft into the record books, reaching a distance of 252,756 miles from Earth. The crew is meticulously observing the lunar surface as they begin their return home, marking a new milestone in human spaceflight. We now move to the opinion section, where the journal's columnists tackle the most pressing geopolitical and social issues of our time. Gerard Baker writes that despite the tumult, American voters still yearn for someone to restore a measure of normalcy to national life. The message of recent elections is that voters in the middle want stability, safe borders, and an evenly managed economy. In a bracing message, Pope Leo XIV called for peace in the Iran war, emphasizing dialogue over force. The Pope warned against becoming accustomed to violence, as the conflict already claims the lives of American service members. Despite public messaging, NATO allies are quietly helping the US in Iran by providing essential operating platforms for American power. London, Portugal, and Germany have kept vital bases available for logistics and drone-linked operations beyond Europe. President Trump's Tuesday night deadline for Iran looms, with plans to decimate bridges and power plants if Hormuz remains shut. Columnists argue for discriminating between infrastructure types to avoid punishing the Iranian people instead of the regime. Ukraine offers lessons on Hormuz, showing that breaking a blockade requires acting decisively with a military game-changer. In a landmark legal ruling, a judge has mistaken the Claude chatbot for a person, affecting attorney-client privilege. The ruling implies that using a tool to process information is the same as disclosing it to a person, a logic that could compromise legal work. Bernie Sanders argues that AI innovation is a threat to the American people, while others call for hit-the-brakes caution. Contrasting views suggest the next generation is partnering with AI, reflecting an entrepreneurial spirit of human-tech cooperation. The journal also explores the constitutional loophole that could let non-citizens vote in certain local and federal elections. How blue states insulate unions from debate is another key focus, highlighting state-subsidized political actors. JP Morgan's Dimon also addressed the reckoning in private credit, predicting high-risk credit will take a significant hit in a downturn. Investors are cautioned that junk bonds might prove more resilient than their loan peers in the speculative credit market. Our analysis shows that the security of the Gulf matters to everyone, and a quick American victory offers the best hope for a peaceful future. From the Artemis II mission to the future of AI policy, the world of finance and opinion remains in a state of rapid flux. We continue to monitor these developments as they unfold on the global stage, providing you with the strategic edge you need. The intersection of technology, finance, and geopolitics will define the coming months and years ahead. Thank you for joining this strategic briefing. This is Rahul Malhotra signing off. Stay ahead of the curve. Goodbye. Further investigation into the healthcare crisis reveals that labor costs for American doctors and nurses are significantly higher. US hospital nurses earn a mean annual income of $97,000, compared to much lower rates in Spain and Mexico. Consolidation has given hospital systems leverage to command higher rates during negotiations with health insurers. The US also spends more on administration, including billing and claims processing, than other developed nations. In technology news, SpaceX has delayed the next test flight of its massive Starship rocket by at least another month. The company is preparing for its public debut while aiming to show that Starship can reliably loft satellites into orbit. Economists are vigilant for signs that energy price increases caused by the Iran war are spreading into other industries. March inflation data is due out from the Labor Department, with expectations of continued pressure on service firms. Geopolitical analysis suggests that the current war is the first major conflict in a century that the US is waging without traditional allies. Cinematic high-resolution footage of a modern fighter jet performing high-speed maneuvers in a clear blue sky. High-octane action. Professional quality. Daytime. Mid-sized democracies in Europe and Asia may begin to wean themselves from reliance on the US and intensify cooperation among themselves. As these geopolitical shifts occur, we look toward the future of international trade and military alliances. Strategic briefings emphasize the importance of maintaining a competitive edge in both technology and defense. The Strait of Hormuz remains a critical conduit for a fifth of the world's oil supplies, making its security paramount. Our report highlights the potential for a quick American victory to restore stability to global energy markets. Back in business and finance, the Medicare agency has eliminated a lucrative industry billing practice that raised concerns. The change means insurers can no longer use certain medical chart reviews to document diagnoses for their enrollees. Klomp said industry billing practices should not be a source of competitive advantage or market share. Cinematic high-resolution drone montage of modern corporate office buildings in a global financial district. Daytime, vibrant colors, professional quality, high-octane feel. These accounts aim to give more children a foundation for long-term financial security under the new tax law. In the opinion section, Bernie Sanders continues to debate the impact of AI on the American workforce. The next generation is expected to adjust more flexibly to these AI disruptions than previously anticipated. Younger and college-educated workers are among the best positioned to weather the coming AI upheaval. As we conclude our strategic analysis, we look toward the year 2026 with cautious optimism. The intersection of policy, finance, and technology will continue to drive the global narrative. Stay tuned for further updates.